Man City 2, Aston Villa 1. Aston Villa are out of the race for Champions League football. It's over. It's over. They didn't do enough. They did not do enough. A dagger to the hearts of Aston Villa as Mateus Nunes scores in basically the last attack of the game. And that game was there for the taking for Aston Villa, I have to say. I have to say. And now they've left themselves with too much to do. Newcastle got a game in hand, and that game in hand is against Ipswich Town at St James's Park. So you already know what's going to happen there. And once Newcastle win that, that would put Villa, 5 points behind them? Nah, not going to happen. Too much to do. 4 points the distance now between Villa and City. There's just too much work for them to do. I think Forest got Brentford at home as well. So if they can win that, that's massive for them in their game in hand. And the reality is that Villa look like they're just going to fall short. And they didn't really have to. They did in this game. They didn't actually have to. The game was there for the taking. City weren't great. A lot of possession, weren't really creating a lot of chances. Playing with the sort of false nine of Kevin De Bruyne in there, and it just didn't really work, did it? Really, City weren't really creating chances. I think Villa were very comfortable, but they just didn't believe enough. They didn't really show up. They've played Rashford up front. The game got off to a great start. After 17 seconds, Rashford hits the post, to be fair to him. But then other than that, he's non-existent until he scores the penalty. But Unai Emery, I don't know, like Ollie Watkins was already fuming at him, saying how annoyed he's been that he hasn't been playing games and, he's been banging on his door. Fair play. That's what you want to see. But this persistence of Rashford through the middle, it hasn't really worked out, has it? It hasn't really worked out. As a United fan, listen, United fans, we know about Rashford through the middle. On the counter-attack here and there, maybe. But other than that, not really anything. He doesn't really bring much. And Ollie Watkins is probably scratching his head as to why he's not playing games through the middle. That's City away. I mean, that's Watkins' cash money. I know Rashford was on the score sheet, but it's about what you can give the whole team. Morgan Rogers tonight, he shook his head when he came off. Frustrating game for him. Couldn't really get involved as much as he would like to. Jacob Ramsey won the penalty, which I think Ruben Diaz is trying to get out of the way, to be honest. Let's be real. He's trying to get out of the way, but it's still probably a penalty. But again, Villa just not at their sparkling best. At Martinez as well for the first goal for Bernardo Silva. What is he doing as well? This is the world's best goalie, apparently, according to Villa fans, because he gets in the team of the year in the UEFA rankings and all that. But awful, shocking from him. The last few games, he's been making big errors as well. Rubbish from him. And Villa will be kicking themselves after that, because that Man City team, honestly, there for the taking. They just didn't do enough. I think overall, Man City were probably the better team. 14 shots, 6 on target, 62% possession at home. You expect that from Man City, but they didn't look great at all. Kevin De Bruyne, like I said, that false nine. You had Gundogan and Bernardo Silva as the backups behind that. Mamouche was supposed to be playing on the left, but was kind of drifting around. Nico O'Reilly was making some things happen, and the difference is from Doku, to be honest. Like he goes past Disasi like he's not there, and he puts in a great cross outside of the boot. And who's there? The man that Pep Guardiola's been cussing. Saying he's not clever enough to play in central midfield, etc., etc. And he pops up with a goal clutch in the last minute from right back. Maybe Pep's right. This is your position, bro. Play right back. Time your runs. And really, in a season where Man City, right, have fallen off a cliff, let's be honest, they've been shocking this year. And at times, their football has been really, really poor. Embarrassing at sometimes. They've taken some bad L's this year. But in a season whereby they've been way off it from their own standards, they're potentially looking at an FA Cup. Obviously, big game for them against Forest on the weekend in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Could they be got at by Forest? Absolutely, but they'll sit off and try and hit them on the counter-attack. But that's a tight game, but I think City will probably still edge it. But they're looking at Champions League qualification and a trophy. in their drop-off season where they've spent what 180 million in January because their standards have slipped. But there is a lot of work to do in that team. A lot of work. I mean, McAtee, the youngster coming through, Nico O'Reilly, they look like bright spots. They can have some bright futures, but Gundogan passed it. Bernardo Silva, I know he scored tonight, but passed it. Kevin De Bruyne is already leaving. Edison not in net, but probably going to leave. John Stones injury prone, going to leave. Kyle Walker's not going to come back, is he? And stay. He's going to leave. They've got Kovacic is getting on a bit now. They've got so much work to do. Savinho came in and looked really bright at the beginning of the season. Has he kicked on? Not really. Doku, bottle of fizzy pop. Don't really know what you're going to get from him tonight. He comes off the bench and makes a difference, but usually he's not that consistent. You don't know what you're getting there. Marmoush has been a great signing. So look, they've spent money. You can't bet against City going again next season and going strong in the summer. But they don't look great. They don't look great, but they're just going to find enough to get over the line. But from an Aston Villa perspective, if that's my team, I'm disappointed in the fact that they didn't go for it. They didn't go. They should have been more ambitious. I don't know why they were giving City so much respect, sitting off them. Villa are good enough to go toe to toe with that Man City team. And it's like they played with the handbrakes on. I don't understand. They've done well to get back into the game. There were some moments where in the first half where they were better. They finished the half the stronger. I give them that. I think Villa fans, should be happy with that. But it's that second half for me. They just let it drift. They just allowed Man City to have the ball. I don't think Man City upped it in quality massively. I think Villa just didn't kick on from the end of the first half, and it was there for the taking if they really believed in it, And Asensio came on, didn't really have an effect on the game. Marlon comes on late, and that listen, Disassi. I mean, look, the changes that Unai Emery started to make, that Disassi one at right back. Listen, putting him against Dorgu. Yeah, it's better off just leaving cash on there, mate. You're better off just leaving cash on there. Seriously. Or, I mean, Disassi is not a right back. I know he's been playing him there as well, but Concer's spent some time out of right back. He can play there. He's a bit better than Disassi. Just put Disassi in the middle. Put him at centre back. He's going to be better in 1v1s. Concer is, and he got absolutely skinned by Doku, and Doku puts the ball in, and then it's game over. But that's officially it for Villa. And actually, after a good season of some triumphant times and a lot of good moments, obviously going out of the Champions League, they made a right go of it. They did beat PSG on the night, but ultimately they're out. They need to make sure they get to this FA Cup final. It's not going to be easy against Palace, but you expect Villa to win that. It's all baskets into the FA Cup now. Villa need to try and make sure they get some sort of European football because, as it stands, they're seventh. They're seventh, aren't they? So, and they got some tough games. Like I said, Newcastle United, I think will pull away, and I think that top five is going to remain how we see it. Liverpool, Arsenal, obviously in first and second, respectively. Man City, there probably cement third. Well, I say cement third actually. Forest between those two, we'll see what happens. But I think Newcastle will probably end up getting fourth. Maybe Forest might drop down to fifth, but I don't think they'll drop out the top five. And Chelsea, they got no chance. Chelsea are done for me. They got to play too many difficult games. For me, Chelsea. They've got Newcastle away, so that's going to put like a big gap between them. Liverpool at home. Liverpool might be on the beach, might be a bit drunk after winning a title, you'd imagine. Forest away. Nah, don't fancy Chelsea in them games at all. So I think that top five stays as it is. Should have done more, Villa. You absolutely messed it up, mate. Messed it up. That City team's there for the taking. Smash a like on the video, peeps. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm out of here. Peace.